Hello all sentient beings and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the... On this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode, we review Transformers Animated Season 1, Episode 9, Along Came a Spider. IDW's Transformers Beast Wars Volume 1 is now available for pre-order, and we bring you up to date with the latest in Transformers movie news. Today is Friday, March 26, 2021, and this is episode 226 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that can't be the only one that sees the connection between the new Captain America and alcohol. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
The new captain's name is Bud. How you doing?
The amazing and awesome producer and editor, Mike.
I was going to try to make a joke, but alcoholism is nothing to laugh at. You're a monster, Charles.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Well, I was going to say, it's kind of shocking to see that they went ahead and named him Corona.
Oh, there's my joke. You took it, Daryl.
Let's talk Transformers. I almost forgot.
All right, as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatrions, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all for continuing to support us. We really appreciate it, and you help keep the show going. And we recently got in, and this happens very rarely because we record both Transmissions and Alt Mode back to back. But this happened in between the recordings where we actually got one of our Donatrons to up their pledge. So, Christopher, thank you so much for becoming a diecast Donatron. You are awesome. And in the Discord, he goes by Chanimal. So if you see Chanimal on the Discord, give him a high five. He's a great guy.
Is he an animal that just likes or is he a Imals? I don't know.
Daryl, no.
Where are you going with this?
No.
Sit down, Daryl.
I'm gonna go. Just not see. Bye.
Go back to your corner, Daryl. All right, Christopher, we apologize for that outburst, but we appreciate your contribution. Thank you.
If you're a listener, you already know Daryl.
All right. Also, we just had the Donatron exclusive uncut version of Empire of Rust episode 46 that came out this week. And next week is the regular episode of Empire of Rust, episode 46. So that will be out on the free feed for everyone. Iron Eagles. This is Monday, March 29th. It'll be out at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. So all of you listeners of Empire of Rust, look forward to that. We've also got the Toy Hacks drawing, March drawing coming next week. And if you are a Donatron, you're automatically entered into that contest every month. But if not, you can send an email to contest@transmissionspodcast.com with a picture of the Transformers toy you'd like to get stickers for. So send that in by Sunday, March 28th, when we will do the drawing. And those results will come out next week. And Jeremy, you want to give us an update on your America's Next Top Podcaster competition?
Yeah. My team won week 2, the investigative podcast. My team is the Blue Fan Group, and I talked about it more on the toy show, but basically we did a podcast about this theft of dead birds, like bird carcasses from like a museum in order to steal the feathers to use in these ornate fly fishing lures. And it was the weirdest story. I know now more about fly fishing than I ever wanted to, but it was cool. We won. Next week is the big interview week. Or I guess as of now, the episode is up, but we like every team interviewed the same person, and because we won, we got an extra 5 minutes. So check that out, and I will talk about what happened with the interview show next week. So yeah.
And let's get into the show with starting off with some comics news. All right. So last week we had talked about the Takara Tomy Generation Select web manga comic. So that was the Japanese version came out last week, and now it's been translated to English. So if you were curious about what was going on there, you can now read it in English if you didn't read Japanese. So that should be helpful for you. And we've also got the Generations art book that's also in Japan. So the cover for this book has been revealed, and this is by Transformers artist Kazumasa Yasukuni, who has also done art on other Transformers comics released in Japan. So, and this is a really cool image. Of course, this Generations book is all about all the toys that were released in 2020. So, we've got the Studio Series toys, we've got the Earthrise toys. This image really captures that, with Optimus Prime in the center opening the Matrix, but you've got, some of the Studio Series figures, Hot Rod, Cup. Do I see Scourge in there too? Cyclonus there. We've got
Unicron.
Oh yeah, Unicron. Yeah. RC. We've got Beast Wars Megatron. We've got Dinobot, Grimlock and Wheelie. So Optimus Primal there too. Cheetor in the background there. It's a really cool image. And so this is the Japanese book that is basically a catalog of all the toys. So you can check that out. Next up, we've got the Amazon pre-order is already up for Transformers Beast Wars Volume 1, the IDW series. So Volume 1 is going to collect issues 1 through 6, and this is supposed to be released December 14th of this year. So, of course, we're only up to issue 2 in the monthlies for Beast Wars, so we've got a little ways to go. But if you are just waiting for the trade, you'll have to wait till the end of the year if you want to get everything collected in Volume 1. But you can go pre-order it from Amazon right now if you so desire. And last bit of news is we've got IDW Transformer solicitations for June of 2021. So we've got several things coming up in June. Of course, Transformers number 32, the continuing ongoing. We've got Beast Wars number 5. We've got the My Little Pony Transformers 2 crossover, issue 3, and then not a trade paper, actually a hardcover, the IDW Transformers Collection Phase 3, Volume 1. So now this is getting into the shared Hasbro universe portion of the Transformers comics, and this starts off with Revolution, the crossover series Revolution. That's issues 0 through 5. All the accompanying Transformer-themed one-shots that go with Revolution. So to All Are One, Transformers, and More Than Meets the Eye. And then the Action Man Revolution one-shot as well.
Action Man of action.
Also, we've got Till All Are One, issues 5 through 8. And Revolutionaries, issues 1 through 4, all in this hardcover. So, mostly, yeah, pretty much everything for Revolution, Transformers related. Yeah, I mean, the only thing they didn't put in there was all the Revolution one-shots of the other properties. So, no ROM, G.I. Joe, Mask, all those things were left out. So, of course, the shared universe didn't really pan out for IDW. It really was pretty much all Transformers, and that that's pretty much what drove the story. But there you go. All right, and that's all our comics news. So now we will move on to our review. So this week we are doing a classic television review, and this is Transformers Animated, Season 1, Episode 9, Along Came a Spider. This aired February 16th, 2008. So this is, 13 years ago. So it's technically classic now. Written by Marty Eisenberg, directed by Matt Youngberg, Irineo Maramba, and Yutaka Kagawa. The animation studio was Mook. And this was the first season of Transformers Animated. And Transformers Animated was I think a pretty well remembered series. I really enjoyed Animated. We picked this this episode this week because there's no new IDW comics out this week, unfortunately. So, we had to think of something else to review. Also, we kind of decided late, so had to think of something we could do quick. And I thought, this would be fun because this introduces the origin of Black Arachnia in the Transformers Animated series, which is quite different from the original Black Arachnia, and also incorporates Elita 1 into the origin story. So I thought that was interesting. So maybe you guys can tell me what your thoughts were real quick on Transformers Animated before we get into the review. So Mike, did you watch Transformers Animated?
Yeah, absolutely did. I actually really loved the series, and I liked it a lot more once it got into its second season. Don't get me wrong, the first season was all right, but I prefer some of the stuff that came in on there. The whole character of Omega Supreme, I really loved the way they presented that character and how they wrote him into the story. So I really wish I was able to see more of that. I have the two like art books or the source books of the Allspark Almanac, like both versions of that. And like when they talked about like the other ships and like the history behind that, and it's like I really wanted to see that. So overall, my thoughts on Animated are very positive, and I enjoyed the series, and for the most part, don't have any problems with it.
Daryl, what did you think of Transformers Animated?
Yeah, I came at it late. Transformers Animated was a show that was out just as I was kind of getting back into Transformers. And I was buying the toys first and not really getting into the cartoons at the time. So I came back to Transformers Animated much later. It had been off the air for, probably a decade at the time. So yeah, it was a while. So yeah, I only recently watched it all, and yeah, I enjoyed the show. It was a good show. I agree with Mike that the first season is kind of slow. The characterization of the characters was quite good, and that I always did have a problem with Optimus Prime on this one, because he never really seemed like much of a leader, more as like the older brother or like a buddy to everybody on the team. And I always felt like it was a miss. Like he really should have taken that leadership role a little bit more seriously. And I don't know whether it was just supposed to be that way, or it's just something that I remember being like, why is he not like taking charge? Or is he just like, I know he's supposed to be a young bot, or he's, his first time in charge or something like that. But, it really stuck out to me that he was not really a great leader, and, he was much more trying to be friends with everybody on the team. Yeah, I did enjoy the 3 seasons of Animated that I saw them when I, well into the when we had started doing the podcast.
All right, and Jeremy, what did you think of Transformers Animated?
I really enjoyed it. I didn't like it at first when I first saw it. and kind of gave up on it really early on. And then when I went back and watched it, I saw what they were doing and I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I've seen every episode yet, but I've seen probably 90% of the series. And for a show that presents itself in such kind of a humory, lighthearted way, it has a lot of depth to it that it's just, you don't really notice right off the bat. And then you have episodes like the one we're going to talk about that gets really dark for a kid's show. And I was surprised as I rewatched it because I'd forgotten how dark it got. Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a great reimagining of G1, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool. All right, well, let's talk about this episode. So I have to admit, I'm gonna wing it here. we're gonna do a quick summary and then just dive right into the discussion. But yeah, I mean, this episode is really it's the set piece is Halloween, so. The Autobots are on Earth. They have their friends, their human friend Sari, who's trying to teach them about Earth culture, and it happens to be Halloween. So Sari's getting ready to dress up, and she's telling the Autobots they have to dress up in costume and then go around trick or treating. And the Autobots don't really get the concept. They're really kind of this is really a bit confusing. But Sari's trying to get him to just lighten up and live a little. Of course, Optimus Prime, he's starting to have some like PTSD flashbacks from some of the Halloween decorations, because they feature giant spiders, and he had an experience on a planet with giant spiders. And so we flip back and forth between the present day on Earth and this experience Optimus Prime had with some of his comrades. He had Sentinel Prime and Elita 1 were they were a team exploring this planet because they were looking for a crashed Decepticon warship that could potentially have some energon in it. Sentinel says, "Hey, let's explore this planet. What could go wrong?" And of course, they immediately fall into a deep dark pit after he says that. Of course, they rather than just try to escape, they continue on searching for this ship and are attacked by these giant spiders, these spider creatures that continue to follow them. Elita 1 has a particular ability where she can absorb the powers of other robots, and she can use that to basically borrow the powers of Sentinel Prime or Optimus Prime. But, they keep mentioning, her power doesn't work on organic creatures. It only works on other bots. Remember that, because that's important for later in the episode. But as they, in the flashback story, Optimus Prime keeps remembering, and of course, they get separated. It kind of they reconnect at this Decepticon ship. So there was actually a crashed Decepticon ship with energon cubes inside. Optimus and Elita 1 get surrounded by the spiders there, because the spiders have made their nest there. All their baby eggs are right next to the energon cubes. So of course the spiders are very protective of that. Optimus and Elita 1 try to escape. They use their, Optimus has his little swing cable that he can launch out, and they climb up. Elita 1 borrows his power and does the same thing, but it runs out just at the wrong moment. And so her cable disappears and she falls back. Optimus fails to catch her, and she appears to fall back into the ship. And of course the energon has become unstable because they've been fighting there, and then, a stray blast detonates the energon in the ship, and it appears to destroy her, Elita 1, and all the spiders inside. So, Sentinel Prime is very upset that they want to go back and he wants to go back and search for Elita 1, but Optimus says, her signal's offline. I think that she's done for, basically. And I believe this also is showing the origin of the animosity between Sentinel Prime and Optimus, because Sentinel blames Optimus for Elita 1's death. And despite the fact that Sentinel was the one that led him there in the first place, but, So this is all the flashback that's happening, and this weaves in and out of the story that's going on in present day, where Sari takes Bumblebee and Bulkhead out trick-or-treating, and they're having a good time. But then, they encounter a giant robotic spider. And, this where did this giant spider come from? And then it transforms into a female robot, and she's like, hey, I'm Black Arachnia, I'm your friend. And then she has her stingers and knocks out both Bulkhead and Bumblebee with her venom. And she is there to kidnap Sari. And in particular, she's interested in Sari's key because it has a direct connection to the Allspark, and she wants to use that key for some nefarious purpose. And she takes Sari to the top of a tall building. And at this point, Optimus Prime has already tracked them down and is trying to rescue Sari from Black Arachnia. And Black Arachnia gets the key, turns it on, trying to purge the organic material from her robot body. But as she does this actually starts to purge all organic life from the earth and starts draining the life out of them. And Sari ages into a very old lady little girl, along with all the plant life around it starting to wither and die. Of course, this doesn't work for Black Arachnia. It doesn't purge her organic half and starts to short out her spark. So Optimus rescues her and takes the key out, reversing the process. But Black Arachnia is still stuck as a spider bot. And at this point, Prime he doesn't recognize her, but then she says, you left me to die all those years ago. And he realizes this is Alita 1. Black Arachnia is Alita 1. Shocker. And she's very angry for being left behind, and she was attacked by those spiders. The venom that the spiders bit her with infected her body, and she was mutated into her half beast, half robot form. Prime apologizes for leaving her behind and says, please, begs her to come back with him, but she's still too angry and too bitter for the betrayal so many years ago, and she just she stings him and then flees to plan for another scheme another day. And Prime awakens with he's alone, and he's of course sad about his friend Alita 1 being lost to him, and that's how we end the episode. So and we do get a final scene that shows Black Arachnia might be a little bit it's a little bit ambiguous as to whether she's gone full Decepticon or if she still harbors some sentiment, because she just shows her quietly crying as she looks up at the moon. So that is Along Came a Spider. So Jeremy, what did you think of this episode, and what did you think of the shocking twist that Alita 1 is Black Arachnia?
It wasn't really all that shocking, but like I said earlier, this was a lot darker than I was remembering. I mean, you get the humor spread throughout, but when you really get into the middle and ending of the episode, it got pretty dark. For the ninth episode of this kid's cartoon, I thought it was a really cool reimagining of Black Arachnia, and having the flashbacks and stuff to tell the story in the past. It was really, I really enjoyed how they did that. And the voice work I thought was really good for the actress that played Alita 1 and Black Arachnia. At times I thought it was the actress that played Black Arachnia in Beast Wars, but it wasn't. And it was just, at times it has a hint of the Beast Wars Black Arachnia, but it was really good all throughout. I didn't really understand the whole sorry aging thing, and then just immediately reversed when, you know, the key was removed. It seems like there's like no ramifications of that. If there is, I just don't remember from the later episodes. But I thought it was cool. I like the animated Bulkhead as much as I love Transformers Prime Bulkhead. Animated Bulkhead is also a lot of fun, and I loved his like what was it?
His fumigation sheet.
The fumigation tent that he used, and then it showed like dead bugs falling out. That was kind of gross, but it was fun. So yeah, it was a really good episode. And again, I'm surprised that they went this dark so early in the show. Usually you would wait until like a season 2 or like the last episode of season 1 to kind of venture out of the comfort zone that you've just started building.
Cool. Yeah. And the voice actor is Cree Summer, which is she is a longtime voice actor. Yeah. She was the original voice of Penny and Inspector Gadget back in the 80s.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And she's also,
she was Hagar in the Voltron Legendary Defender.
Oh yeah. She is Elmira in, Tiny Toon Adventures. She's Susie Carmichael in Rugrats. So she's done a lot of voice work. So very distinctive voice. So if you've seen her in anything, you definitely immediately recognize her voice. All right, Daryl, what did you think of this episode?
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. There's some things that are kind of goofy. I mean, obviously it's animated. It's kind of fun. And the whole premise is pretty goofy. I think, the whole, premise of the episode is that the Optimus and Sentinel leave Alita behind after she falls into the pit, I guess, after the explosion. I can't see them doing that, like leaving her and not at least going back to retrieve the body afterwards. Like, I don't know. I just, that, and any type of, military, I'm doing air quotes here, any type of military organization, you'd think that they would at least try and retrieve the body afterwards, and then just not leave their friend. I mean, there was only 3 of them that came there, and they would want to retrieve her just so remove any evidence of them being there at least, but they just leave, and it's so. But yeah, the whole premise is good. It is definitely dark. I can't figure out whether Optimus and Alita were romantically connected, or Alita and Sentinel were romantically connected, because there really is not a whole lot of screen time for them at the beginning. They could have all been just hanging out as a squad, and there may not have been any kind of romantic connection, but there definitely seemed like there was something there. There was definitely moments between both of them, like both couples, or so I don't know, but it seems odd to me that they would just leave her there. But I guess without that, you don't get Black Arachnia. Black Arachnia as a character is like just badass, and I think I like Black Arachnia, I think, more than I like Alita 1. So I'm kind of glad for the change, I guess. But yeah, it was a good episode, and it's nice to see characters with powers again. So Black Arachnia's got this ability absorbing power, I guess, and you don't really see that a lot in modern Transformer shows. So it was definitely a big trope in G1, and animated brought it back, and I liked that. So yeah, it was a great episode.
All right. Yeah, I think the conceit, that's probably why she blames Optimus more than, I guess, Sentinel, because Sentinel probably would have gone back to, find her body at the very minimum. But for some reason, Optimus was just like, we have to go. I don't know. Yeah, it seemed very uncharacteristic for Optimus. Maybe that feeds into your, him not being quite the Optimus you remember. Is very, very inexperienced, very making some bad decisions there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of information given at the beginning of the episode as to what kind of position all of them are in at this point in their kind of military careers, right? Mm-hmm. Who's in charge of this, mission? Because Sentinel seems to say, well, we're gonna take a look and let's go. And, Optimus throws up an objection, but Sentinel just, washes it away and says, no, screw that. We're going to look anyway. And Alita just goes along with it. Like, what the hell? We're here. Let's just look. So, it doesn't seem like there's a real, like power hierarchy on this thing. Sentinel seems to make the decision for this mission, but obviously at the end of the mission, when everything goes to hell, Optimus seems to be the one making the call, right? So who's in charge of this mission? Are they all just friends? Like, are they all just hanging out going on this thing? We obviously know from the end of the show, like the end of the series, that Sentinel goes off and becomes like this military leader, and Optimus gets stuck on Earth with, with this ragtag team. But, at the beginning of this episode, you really have no idea who's who. Right.
Yeah. So just looking in the wiki, and one of the continuity notes in the episode is that it is referenced later in a later episode that this was the incident that caused Optimus to be demoted, basically. So that's why Sentinel Prime's rank is basically higher, and Optimus was sent to space bridge duty. So
gotcha.
Basically, the leadership said you made the wrong call by not even going to to look for Alita 1, I guess. Even though,
so was he in charge though of this mission then?
I mean, I don't know. That's still not clear, but I think they're all like the same rank. Like they're in animated, the Prime rank is not like the tip top leaders of the Autobots. That's like the rank of, I guess, first lieutenant or something. So they were all right. They all had this Prime rank, and I guess they were all equal until after this, where Optimus Prime gets basically sent to space bridge duty, and he's lower. But Sentinel Prime goes on to become like the right hand bot for Ultra Magnus. So anyway, who's left? Mike, you're left.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think that either one of those three really outrank each other at the point of the flashbacks. It kind of has the feel of just like three friends who are kind of like get off base for like a day pass or something. And it's like, hey, let's go and check this out. And Sentinel being Sentinel, like his characterization is just kind of that over the top, like, hey, yeah, let's do this. Nothing bad's going to happen. So I totally can see that he's just like bullies them into going almost. That being said, I think mixed feelings about the episode. There are parts I really enjoyed about it. It's like the lore, the kind of history of this. The fact that it was kind of told in a flashback was really kind of nice. And it was like, hey, this is kind of cool. Like this is a bit more of what's happening in the larger universe than what we've seen so far. Because like, up until this point, pretty much all the episodes were just, okay, we're on Earth and we're having our adventure of the week kind of thing. So I really enjoyed like the larger history behind like a lot of stuff. And I'm a big kind of history buff anyway. So whenever we see any kind of lore or history in a show, I really love that. That being said, there's a lot of weird characterizations and just weird technical things that just don't seem to make a lot of sense to me. Like all of a sudden, like Optimus is like really broody about his past, and it's like, well, okay. I mean, this has never come up before, and if this is something that's supposed to haunt you and remind you about like the moment you see a spider, it's like, okay. But it just seemed to come out of nowhere that he just like starts brooding about this. Oh, what's wrong, Optimus? Oh, it's something in my past. Okay. We're not going to talk about it, I guess. All right, bye. We're good. So that was kind of weird. I don't understand Elita's power, like, at all. So she has to copy Sentinel's power to use his shield? His shield is his power? I don't... It's a shield. It's a piece of technology, right? Am I the only one who has a problem with this?
I think his shield had some kind of, maybe it had like some special software interface on his arm, like it would only hook into his arm, and she copied that configuration or something.
Okay, sure.
I mean, it's also like if you're when she copies Optimus's tow line, you wouldn't think the tow line would just disappear like as it's hauling her up. Like you'd think you'd get a little bit, like even if the, you know, if it's temporary, it's like, don't you get like a, you know, like some emergency override or something? I don't know.
I mean, what is she, Mega Man or something? Like she runs out of energy and all of a sudden that weapon just vanishes. What? So I don't know. Like I really like the idea of Elita's power. Like she's able to like copy the abilities of other bots. Like sure, that's a cool concept, but without the kind of like magic element or like the superpower element of like Marvel or DC, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So it's neat that it's there, but like how are you doing this? But whatever, it's fine. And don't even get me started on like copying the organic stuff. It's like, okay, so you're trying to copy a spider. We established that your power doesn't work on organics. So what to do? It turns into an organic. What? What is this? So yeah, a lot of... I had to turn off a lot of suspension of disbelief in order to... No, I had to turn on a lot of suspension of disbelief in order to accept this episode.
She mutated. It's mutation stuff.
Sure.
I'm waving my hands in front of my face.
You know, if you're going to bring like the live action movies into this and say that they're all made of transformium, you could make that case.
I'm not going to do that.
I think it's a dumb idea, but you can still make the case. But the introduction of the overarching like story elements, like the past like stuff happening and all that, and kind of showing Sentinels and Optimus is kind of like the origin of their conflict. I really like that. So overall, there's a lot of really good things that happened with it. I had to turn off a lot of like filters and checks on this in order to enjoy the episode. All right, cool. Yep.
All right. Well, that is our review of Transformers Animated Season 1, Episode 9, Along Came a Spider. And this is available on Tubi TV for free. So if you go to tubitv.com, you can watch all the episodes of Transformers Animated for free. There's a bunch of Transformers content on Tubi TV. They've got G1, they've got Beast Wars, they've got, I think, all the Armada trilogy. They've got Beast Machines. So lots of good stuff on Tubi TV if you're looking for Transformers cartoons. All right, so that's our review. So we will move on to Transformers Media News.
All right, in media news this week, we've got a video from Mr. Gary Chalk. And since it was St. Patrick's Day last week, we got a YouTube video from him that he goes, "If Optimus Primal was Irish." And it's a nice little video, and he just kind of... It's about 2.5 minutes long, and yeah, give it a listen. It's kind of fun. So it's always nice hearing from Gary Chalk again. So, and did anyone watch that? What'd you think?
I did watch it, although I was expecting like a song or something, but he just kind of read lines from the Beast Wars show in an Irish accent, like just random lines. So it was a bit odd.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. I was just expecting like a little song or something. That's all.
You ask for a lot, Charles. All right, and moving on, we've got a little bit of movie news, and this is for the upcoming Transformers number 7. And they are looking for futuristic vehicle concept artists. And is this the movie that is kind of we've thought is titled like Beast Alliance? Is this one? Because
no, this is the one with the new director.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it?
Is it the Creed director?
Josh Cooley?
I believe so. Yeah.
So yeah, they're looking for futuristic vehicle designers, land, air vehicles that do not exist in real life. So if you think you can design land and air vehicles that don't exist in real life, they might be interested in seeing your work. Yeah, so take a look at that and maybe send your stuff to I don't know, it doesn't say here, but Josh Cooley's the director. Send it to him. Yeah.
Just hit up the director on Twitter.
Just send it to the director. Hey Josh, I got some future vehicles for you. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. That's it for media news.
All right, and we will finish up the show with feedback. And we got a voicemail from Dinobot Maximize this week.
Hey guys, this is your friend Dinobot Maximize with another voicemail for you. I just want to first say congratulations once again to Daryl for the new mini-con he brought into this world. Very nice job there. And this is going to go toward alt mode for this question. I wanted to ask with his pickup of the All Hail Megatron No More cover, what are you guys' basically Transformers Holy Grail in comics right now? Do you have a specific one you're looking for, or have you already gotten it, or is there anything you're looking for in particular for that? Me personally, I don't think I have a full Holy Grail one, but as I showed to Yoshi through the Discord, I've been trying to get a hold of the little poly pack of issues 4, 5, and 6, or excuse me, 5, 6, and 7 off from the original series, and I've been looking for them because that's how I was first introduced to the Transformers comics way back when I was a kid. I actually remember picking it up at a gas station on a road trip from Florida to Mississippi. But that's mine. There's also the other one of 789 that I've been after as well. But that's it, guys. And I hope you guys had to keep the show going. And this is Don Munson. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Well, Daryl, why don't you start us off since you scored those comics last week?
Sure. Yeah. So Holy Grails in comics, I've got a few that are. I mean, I could always list off the ones I doubt I'll ever own. So like an Amazing Fantasy 15, X-Men 1, Spider-Man 1, those big grails that I don't think I'll ever own. I've seen them in person at conventions and stuff, but I don't think I'll own them. More manageable. I'm hoping to at one point own a Incredible Hulk 181. That's my grail that I'm going for right now. There's a few others that are kind of more manageable than that, but right now that's the big grail that I'm working on. First appearance of Wolverine. He didn't ask for Transformers. He just asked for grails.
Well, I think he was focused on Transformers, but anyway. We are a Transformers podcast.
There are not many Transformer comics that are considered grails. So, I mean, If I were to get technical, I would say the Killing Joke cover. I'm still looking for one of those. Other than that, I have every comic I think I would want.
Mike, how about you?
So I haven't really been buying a lot of comics in the last couple of years. It was, I think, about halfway through Lost Light and Optimus Prime, where I just I couldn't buy them anymore. I had some financial problems, and that was one of the things I had to give up. So I have been buying the IDW collections, like the hardcovers, and I really enjoy those. But as far as a Grail goes, I think one of two things. One, getting some of the unreleased stuff from the end of the Dreamwave era. That would be really interesting to get. And the second thing would be that UK collection, the definitive collection hardcovers. I'd love to get my hands on being able to get those. That'd be awesome.
Cool. And Jeremy, any Transformers or otherwise comics grails?
See, I kept it with Transformers.
Yeah. I've been kind of less concerned with a lot of covers recently. Just, I don't know. It might just be with how, COVID's affecting us, and I'm not getting to the store very often. So all the RI covers are gone by the time I get there. So I just haven't been as picky lately. But going back, I would probably say things like the Killing Joke cover would be probably one of my few Transformer grails. Non-Transformers, I would love to get a full set of the Crisis on Infinite Earths from 86 or 85. I have a handful of issues, and a couple of them I have actually signed from one of the creators on there. But I don't have a full set. I have digitally, I have the digital version of the collected version, but just the individual issues I would love to have. And I don't know. I've been a lot less picky lately. I guess because I have so much other stuff going on in my life. Maybe I'll get back to it and just decide I have to have particular issues. But right now, I'm just not in that place.
All right. Yeah, for me, I'm not really collecting comics right now, so I am still buying the regular Transformers comics, but there's nothing I'm really actively searching for. I definitely agree with Mike that the definitive editions from the UK that are not available over here. I do have a few of those. I have I think 4 of those that I bought at TFCon from a friend. I bought in one of the charity auctions, and then bought some from some friendly fans in the UK. But yeah, to get that whole set would be awesome. But then I don't think I have space in my house for that whole set either. One thing that I think would be just interesting to have, and just because I am a fan of his work, is that James Roberts actually wrote a letter to the old Marvel UK Transformers comics and had it published in issue 316 of the series back in the day. So having a copy of that and getting it signed by him, that would be a fun thing to have. That's but I'm not really searching for it. I haven't looked it up on eBay or anything like that. It's probably relatively easy to get, or it's probably not that expensive. This is just a random issue. But yeah, that's it. All right. Well, thanks, Dinobot Maximize, for sending in your question. Hope you liked our answers, and thanks for generating the discussion. And that will do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Again, as always, we end the show by shouting out to our Masterpiece Donatreons and John 4X Levengood and Dinobot Maximize. Thank you again for continuing to support the show. You can also buy some of our merchandise at our TeePublic store. That's at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. Check out all our cool designs there. And if you want to buy anything from TeePublic, use our link, transmissionspodcast.com/shop. Mike, anything else you want to plug before we get out of here?
I'm going to plug Empire of Rust as always. So if you haven't checked it out, please go ahead and give Empire of Rust a listen. We are on episode 46 already, and we will be starting chapter 2. Like the second, we got a big act of the show, probably around, I don't know, like episode like 55 or 56 or so. So it's a good time to catch up on it and get ready for the big part 2 coming up.
All right. Transmissionspodcast.com/rust. Check that out. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to Transmissions Alt Mode, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, all.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
They're not really lines, just lights. And they flicker on and off. And I like watching them.
So we're going to name the new Captain America. We need a name. Let's name him after some alcohol. All right.
That's terrible, Mike.
I thought we fired you.
You still gotta pay me. I need my health insurance.
You're an independent contractor. We don't pay your health care.